Hi yogis, Alana here from Alana Kane Yoga, and thank you for tuning into my channel. So I'm joining you today from the beautiful Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. As you can see, there's a beautiful volcano behind me and a nice, very calm lake this morning. So today's video is all about releasing that tension in our shoulders, chest, and upper back. So we're going to be mainly focusing on that, a little bit of hips. So you might want to have some props handy. I don't have the luxury of having any here, but a blanket, pillows, blocks, whatever you might have, go ahead, grab them, bring them near. It's going to be about 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and get started. We will start exactly where we are in a nice comfortable seat. So you might want to put a pillow or a blanket underneath your bottom to raise your hips up a little bit. Bring the hands to the knees. We're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze and then release them down the back. You might be feeling them a little tight here. And just start to close the eyes. And we're just going to relax our body here, start to find that breath. So starting to direct your focus on the breath here. Maybe you take a gaze to your third eye center or just between the eyes to just really focus on the nose, kind of feeling that breath come in and out. So we want to start finding a nice equal rhythm with our inhales and exhales through the nose. Starting to fill up the belly and the chest. And start to bring your mind to an intention. Maybe it's something focused around love here today. We'll be working on opening our chest and our heart. So it could possibly be, I'm open to receiving love. I'm open to giving love. I love myself. Whatever might come to your mind first. Just a few more breaths here. And you can start to flutter the eyes open. You can bring the hands beside you. And we'll start with just a few warm-ups to get our bodies moving a bit. So let's just bring the arms overhead. Take a nice big inhale. Maybe lift the chest. Head drops back slightly. And exhale. Release it all down. Inhale up. Exhale, release. One more here. Inhale up. Exhale, release. So bring the hands back to the knees and we'll roll those shoulders out a little bit more than we did in the beginning. So we're gonna take the shoulders, inhale up, squeeze towards the ears. Exhale, roll down the back. Inhale up. Exhale, roll them down. One more, inhale up. Squeeze and roll down the spine. We're gonna do the opposite way. So coming up from the back to the front. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll do a few cat and cows to really warm up that spine and the upper back, but we're gonna do them seated. So it's the same movement. We're gonna inhale, head goes high, head drops back, shoulders drop back. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, coming up. exhale, round it over. So inhale up, find a tall spine, inhale the arms above your head, and exhale, just let them fall forward. Maybe walk them out, head either hangs here, maybe it hits the ground. Breathe in. And just start to walk the hands back towards your body. And we're gonna move into a tabletop pose. Shoulders are coming over wrists, hips over the knees. And now we'll do a few cat and cows in our tabletop pose. So inhale, belly drops, head and tailbone go high. Exhale, around the spine, really push the ground away. Let the head drop down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round. And one more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round. So come back to that neutral spine in your tabletop. And from here, we're gonna work into our shoulders a little bit more with our first yin poses. So our first pose is gonna be half downward facing dog or half puppy. So this is basically, we're keeping our hips exactly where they are. We're gonna drop the left forearm down so it's parallel to the short end of the mat. We're gonna walk our right hand out to the corner of our mat. And we're gonna lay our head right down on the forearms. So I don't have any props, so feel free to use some here, maybe putting a bolster under this forearm if you need a little more height, or maybe under the chest. We're just gonna feel a nice curve in our upper spine here. So just find that breath and start breathing through it. And if this gets too intense on your shoulders, you can bring that right hand and join it over top of the left, creating just a little kind of fire logs with the arms. And you'll just feel more of that stretch in the upper spine versus that shoulder. Be here for a couple more breaths. All right, So to slowly come out of this, just lift your head and start to walk both of the hands back under the shoulders. We'll do one cat and cow to reset here. So inhale, head goes high, belly drop. Exhale, round the spine. And come back to neutral, and we're gonna set up for the other side. So this time, right forearm's coming to the ground, left arm's coming out, and let the head come down to that right forearm. Same thing on this side. If that shoulder on the left starts to get maybe a little too intense of a stretch, you can just stack it on top of the right and really get into that upper back. Alright, so we'll start to come out of this. Just start to lift the head, walk both hands underneath your body. One cat-cow to reset. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release it down. And then inhale, come back to normal. Let the knees come wide, toes touch. Push back for a child's pose for a few moments here. Let the head come down. If your hips are really high, stack one fist on top of the other. Or maybe grab one of those pillows or blocks you might have handy. Releasing that upper spine. Just breathe into it here. From our child's pose, we're just going to walk the hands over to the right side and find a nice side body stretch here. Breathe into the side body here. And walk the hands over to the left side this time. And inhale, come back to center. We're gonna rise back up into that tabletop pose. So stack shoulders or wrists again, hips over knees. This time we're gonna thread the needle. So let's take that right arm and inhale, really twist. And exhale, bring the hand through the space on that left side, laying it down. Head can either come the whole way to the mat, a blanket or a block, maybe a pillow. Left hand can just hang here, or if you'd like to open that shoulder, bring the top of the left hand to the low back. We want to be pretty relaxed in our upper body here, just kind of sinking into the shoulder and that back. Still nice deep breathing here, even though we're twisted. Maybe coming back to that intention here that you set for yourself, focused around love. Just a few more breaths here. And let that left hand come down to the mat. Use it to push yourself back up. Inhale that right arm back up to the sky. Nice big twist. And drop it down to the mat. So readjust here. And we'll inhale, open that left arm high. And exhale that hand to the space on the right side. Left cheek comes down to the mat and just start to sink in. Right hand can either be on the mat or you open that shoulder up, top of the hand to the low back. And start to bring that right hand down if it's not already. Using it to push yourself up. Inhale that left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, release it down to the mat. And we're just gonna come into a nice comfortable seat here. So if you need to do any movement with the back or the side body, you can wiggle around here. All right, to reset a little bit, we're just gonna clasp the arms beside or behind us. Let them kind of come away from your body, let the head and the chest come up. Maybe drop the head back. and go ahead, release it, shake it out. All right, so this is the part where we get into our hips a little bit. So let's extend both legs out in front of us, and we're gonna cross the right leg over the left. So this is step one. We're gonna come into shoelace pose. So there's a couple options for you here. So this is step one. You can just fold forward if you can't get this left foot to hook around, either kind of to the side or maybe parallel to the front of your mat. If either of those are pretty challenging, all you need to do is stack one foot in front of the other, almost a modified square pose, so it's the same thing. So once you find your legs, and you can prop yourself up here as well, maybe a pillow under a hip or an ankle or a knee. Once you find that pose, we're gonna sink into it first, and then we're gonna add those shoulders in. So just start to fold forward if you can. If not, just stay where you're at, and let's work into those hips a tiny bit here. And maybe folding over is going to feel really nice for your spine or your back. So even if you can't hinge forward a little bit, maybe just try allowing the head and the neck to fold forward. Breathing through it. All right, start to rise up. We're gonna leave the legs right where they are, and we're gonna add those arms into it. So let's inhale the arms out right beside us. Maybe lift the chest a little bit, open those shoulders. And we're gonna cross the right elbow under the left. Reach the hands to meet, or maybe grab the forearm. If this is too challenging to come into eagle arms, just grab the opposite shoulders. Still gonna be working to open up the shoulders and the chest here. So if you're in those eagle arms, bring the elbows up to maybe be right shoulder height. Breathe through here for a few moments. And you can stay here, this is your option, or you can inhale the elbows up towards the sky. And then we're gonna fold forward over the legs. So if you didn't get very far in the first round of hip opening, you can just stay upright, that's fine. A few more breaths. And inhale those arms back up, hold here. And exhale, release them, shake them out. All right, you can uncross those legs too, shake those out. Maybe do some exaggerated windshield wipers here. Time to switch sides. So bring both those legs back out in front and find your variation of it. So maybe just left leg over Maybe you cross that right leg, tuck it in, or make it parallel to the front edge of the mat, or maybe you just have one foot in front of the other. Always an option for you. Every body is built differently, so choose what works for you. And once you find your legs, maybe you stay upright and maybe you fold forward into it. So same thing here, if you don't get super far, like hip hinging, you can just maybe allow the head and the neck to release if you're having some tension there. And we want to get nice and relaxed into this. Use your breath here to calm yourself. If any emotional things, judgments, whatever it might be that we kind of hold deep in our hips comes up for you, just notice it's there. Don't put any judgment on the thoughts. Always just come back to that breath. Just a few more breaths here. So we're gonna rise back up. This time we're gonna keep our legs where we are and add in those arms. So extend those arms right up from the shoulders, maybe lift the head. And cross that left elbow under the right this time. Hook the fingers so they're trying to meet at the palms. You might not get there. Or just have opposite shoulders. Lift those elbows to about shoulder height. Stay here for a moment. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears here. And option, you can stay here if you want to round over, you can. So we're gonna inhale those elbows up to the sky first. And then we're gonna exhale and round. So maybe you're not hip hinged, maybe you are. So hip hinging would be coming forward with the arms here. Or you can stay upright and just kind of round in with the elbows. And inhale those arms up. Exhale, release, shake them out. Uncross the legs, shake them out. Maybe find some of those windshield wipers. Awesome job. From our seat, we're gonna move on to our stomachs. So just stack those forearms one on top of the other. Rest your head down. Take a couple breaths. Unstack those hands, let the hands come behind your low back. We're gonna clasp the arms and we'll rise up for our half locust pose. So on the inhale, just lift the chest, let the hands come away from your body. If clasping is too hard, you can have them out beside you. We're just opening that chest a little bit, working the upper spine. This is more of a yang movement. And then let the hands come back to the mat. Let one cheek come down. And we're gonna end our class today in Sphinx pose. Lift up the chest and the head. We'll bring the forearms to the mat, elbows right under the shoulders, opening that chest. Shoulders are coming away from the ears. Head is going to be either neutral or maybe you drop it down. You can also grab a block to have the head on here. And just breathe into your back here. A few more nice deep breaths here. And you can start to release yourself back down to the mat. And we're gonna roll onto our backs now. So just flopping over, trying to be graceful with it. And we're going to bring the knees into the chest. So give them a hug. Maybe rock side to side, massage that low back. And then take your knees in a circle. So direct them, just circling one way. And switch directions. And then take one nice big squeeze in a ball, maybe rock forwards and backwards. And exhale, let the legs go long. Arms go long beside you. Maybe bring them in a T to open those shoulders a little bit more. And just start to allow your body to rest here in the Shavasana. So you can start to awaken the body, deepening that breath, wiggling fingers and toes. Bring the knees into the chest. Find a fetal position on the right side of your body, cradling your head in your arms. Taking one last moment to reflect here. And inhale. Push yourself back up nice and gently. Have a nice comfortable seat. You can have the eyes closed or maybe just have a soft gaze. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the sounds of the lake. And I hope you feel a lot less tension in your shoulders, back, and chest. Feel free to leave me any comments or feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more. And namaste.